yang keruh, aku hanya berdoa, sisakan bayang wajah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Selamat pagi dan selamat datang kepada Bapak dan Ibu tamu undangan yang berbahagia yang telah hadir di Konsert Hall ISI Yogyakarta pada hari Sabtu 29 Oktober 2022 dalam acara Simposium Khatulistiwa 2022 hari kedua yang bertemakan Kuat Akar, Kuat Tanah, Solidaritas Trans-Nasional dan Gerakan Translokal yang diselenggarakan oleh Yayasan Biennale Yogyakarta, didukung oleh Direktorat Jenderal Kebudayaan, Kementerian Pendidikan Kebudayaan, Riset dan Teknologi, dan Lembaga Pengelola Dana Pendidikan melalui Program Pemanfaatan Hasil Kelola Dana Abadi Kebudayaan tahun 2022, Dinas Kebudayaan Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta, dan Taman Budaya Yogyakarta. Bapak, Ibu, dan tamu undangan yang berbahagia, terlebih dahulu kami perkenankan untuk menyampaikan beberapa informasi demi kelancaran dan ketertiban acara pada pagi hari ini. Bapak Ibu yang telah hadir, tidak diperbolehkan untuk makan, minum, dan merokok di dalam konsert hall. Kami mohon kepada Bapak serta Ibu demi tertib dan lancarnya acara pada hari ini untuk menggunakan handphone dan alat komunikasi lainnya dalam mode silent. Bapak serta Ibu, Simposium Khatulistiwa merupakan salah satu program Yayasan Biennale Yogyakarta yang merupakan sebuah forum internasional yang dirancang sebagai arena pertemuan ahli, pemikir, praktisi, peneliti dari berbagai bidang ilmu, dan acara ini untuk berbagi informasi dan pengetahuan, bertukar pikiran dan pendapat sebagai upaya membangun pemahaman kritis atas berbagai praktik seni rupa kontemporer dalam kaitannya dengan dinamika sosial, budaya, dan politik di kawasan Khatulistiwa. Dan pada tahun 2022 ini, Simposium Khatulistiwa diselenggarakan untuk kelima kalinya. Simposium Khatulistiwa 2022 bertemakan Kuat Akar, Kuat Tanah, Solidaritas Transnasional dan Gerakan Translokal yang berupaya untuk melihat bagaimana kerja-kerja di beberapa gerakan lokal yang terhubung bersama dalam konteks yang lebih luas menjadi solidaritas transnasional. Simposium Khatulistiwa 2022 melibatkan 3 pembicara luar negeri, 24 pembicara Indonesia, dan moderator dari berbagai latar belakang. Untuk mengawali acara pada hari ini, sesi yang pertama adalah presentasi pembicara kunci dengan topik Kolektivisme dan Imajinasi Trans-Nasional yang akan disampaikan oleh Baan Noorg Collaborative Arts and Culture yang akan dipandu oleh Mbak Alia Swastika. Mbak Alia Swastika adalah lulusan jurusan Komunikasi Universitas Gadjah Mada. Sejak tahun 2008, ia menjadi kurator dan direktur program di Art Gallery Jakarta, Yogyakarta. Sekarang bekerja sebagai direktur Yayasan Biennale Yogyakarta, dan pada tahun 2011, Mbak Alia menjadi kurator Biennale Yogyakarta yang ke-11 bersama Suman Gopinan dari India. Lalu pada tahun 2012 menjadi salah satu dari co-kurator Gwangju Biennale di Korea Selatan. Kemudian pada tahun 2017 terpilih sebagai kurator pada pameran seni kontemporer Indonesia pada perhelatan Europalia Arts Festival dan mengorganisir pameran di 4 museum di Belgia dan Belanda. Pada tahun 2019, beliau menjadi salah satu konsultan kurator untuk pameran Contemporary Works Indonesia di National Gallery of Australia, Canberra. Kemudian selain melakukan kerja kuratorial, beliau juga aktif menerbitkan tulisan pada berbagai surat kabar, majalah, jurnal, dan buku baik di dalam maupun luar negeri. Pada tahun 2015, mendirikan Study on Art Practice yang menerbitkan jurnal Skripta, sebuah media diskursus seni kontemporer. Bukunya yakni Praktik Negosiasi Seniman Perempuan dan Politik Gender Orde Baru, terbit dengan dukungan penelitian dari Ford Foundation pada tahun 2019. Oke, langsung saja kita sambut moderator kita, Mbak Alia Swastika, kepadanya disilakan.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here with us in Equator Symposium 2022. And we are now reaching the second day of the symposium. After yesterday, we have quite one full day of different panelists, and we have lots of discussions on transnationality, translocality, and how to contextualize the different practices of contemporary art making today. So for the second day of the Equator Symposium, we will start with the keynote speaker by Baan Noorg Collaborative Arts and Culture from Thailand. And I would like to start to read their profile and bio. There are lots of information here. So, Baan Noorg Collaborative Arts and Culture, the founders are Pornpilai Meemalai and Jiradej Meemalai. They come from the north part of, from the Ratchaburi of Thailand. Baan Noorg Collaborative Arts and Culture, established in 2011, a non-profit art initiative that runs of School of Art and Culture, Artists in Residency, Curatorial, Creation and Interdisciplinary Exchange Program for Nongpho Community Contemporary Art and Culture Development and Global Networks. Baan Noorg Collaborative and Arts and Culture joined Documenta 15 2022 with the skateboard and the puppet project that image, I think, one of the most celebrated and circulated images during the Documenta 15 2022 in Kassel. And jiandyin were awarded a fellowship grant from the Asian Cultural Council New York in 2009, and were artists in residence in Headland Center of the Arts, San Francisco International Studio and Curatorial Program in New York, and different kind of residency everywhere. Sorry, I cannot mention, like there are so many in Italy, in Taipei, and other places. And they were exhibited their projects in biennales and in international exhibitions, including 2019 Asian Art Biennale, The Strangers from Beyond the Mountain and the Sea in National Taiwan Museum of Fine Arts in Taichu, and also in 2018 Kwandu Biennale, 7 Questions for Asia in Kwandu Museum Fine Art Taipei, Taiwan, and also in Thailand Biennale in Krabi 2018, The Age of the Wonderland. Pornpilai Meemalai graduated from School of Arts and Humanities, Royal College of the Art in UK 1998, and Jiradej, he got the MFA degree in sculpture from Silapakon University, Thailand. They currently live and work in Ratchaburi. They have been developing work that approach to artistic research, field work, genealogically layered with references to multiple resources and evidence, field work, and many other. For them, it's very important that the art practice correlated with collaboration and social engagement. So I would like to invite Pornpilai and Jiradej to come on the stage. Yeah, so we start today. We have 30 or 40 minutes for the presentations, and then we have like 20 and until half an hour for question and answer from the audience. And for those who are needed translation to Indonesian language, you can connect to Zoom. I think you can ask to the committee for the link and the ID. Jadi teman-teman yang ingin mendengarkan dalam versi bahasa Indonesia bisa connect ke Zoom ya, dan di situ memilih menu translasi ke bahasa Indonesia. Linknya ada di panitia. So please, you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here to join the International Curator Symposium. So first of all, I think it's important to introduce ourselves. We are dual artists, and with the applied art background. Ji was born in Ratchaburi and received central education, and he also self-taught in art for a period before he went to study sculpture. For me, I grew up in Bangkok, and I studied applied art too, and I gained conceptual practice when I studied in a major in metalwork. So I'm a skill-based artist in the beginning, and then we became a duo artist, jiandyin, since 2002. So our practice development through residency programs at different countries. After receiving the Asian Cultural Council Fellowship Grant, we explored place and space, initiate an ongoing research and development project, the dialogue Seeing and Being, between 2010 to 2017, that operated interactive drawing performance in public space. We cooperate with strangers, passers-by, and local community, collecting the back portraits as the project's archive. In response to the social and political impact on human marginalized situation is also the area that we emphasize. It's important for us to localize in community. Sometimes we access the community as artists, journalists. Here is the Ontology of Gold, the Magic Mountain project that we work at the Khao village, where many villagers are suffered from the cyanide effect from the gold mine. So this shows how we also that we also do the artistic research base as artists, journalists sometimes. And then this is the later project, the Asian Biennale, the Asian Art Biennale.
This is the idea of how we try to work with the DEA police agent. The idea is how we would like to have an idea how to smuggle the drug from Thailand to Taiwan for this project, and we work with the DEA police agent to collect the urines of the drug user, methamphetamine. So you see that we have to put the urine in the refrigerator because we need to keep it alive for 5 months. Yeah, this is an idea from related to the project earlier before with the coal mine, because we are working with interested in biology and geology.
So the next one shows the important development. Through residency program, we met international networks. Oh, sorry. This is the structure, how we combine different knowledge in realizing a project. So we learn a lot about the art institutions, non-profit organizations during the residency program. The Thai project, a collaboration between Thai and Taiwanese artists in 2012, that we co-curate with Open Contemporary Art Center in Taipei, is one of the collaborations that originated through residency program 12 years ago, and the artists we met now is one of our collective committee. After receiving the ACC grant, we returned home in 2011. Can be the next one? Yeah. It was when we see how to transfer our knowledge to the village where we live. So this is the next one. We can see in a diagram that shows the important part, the structure of jiandyin and Baan Noorg in the early period. Before Baan Noorg was officially found, jiandyin worked with outsource, and nowadays there are Baan Noorg team and community members. That's why sometimes people consider us the backbone of Baan Noorg. And so the next one, our village, Nongpho.
Yeah, Nongpho is the village that cut through by the superhighway to separate the village into two parts. Before we have a tunnel to cross the highway, the superhighway, we lost villager people in every year. So we evacuate from the area that then Scott named it Somia. And we have our own language. And next, yeah, we call ourselves Taiyuan. Yeah. Next. And we have identities on weaving. If you look at salon. On the left side, this is a kind of Thai style of salon, and the right side is the Taiwan salon. We are far away from Bangkok, about 2 hours west and south, on the locations of two old historical cities. It's called Thawarawadi Kingdoms, dating between 6th century into 11th century. So Thawarawadi Empire has the influence by Gupta. It was the golden age in India when the Hindu epics and literary sources such as Ramayana and Mahabharata was there. There was Mahayana Buddhism, same like an agricultural size of Borobudur of Sivishai Empire. This is the evidence that found statues, corn, and so on. So time passed. Next. Yeah. We live in the Mekong Basin, where there are a multicultural of many ethnic like Mon, Taiwan, Laotian, Thai, and which majorities of Buddhism, Christian, Muslim, and also the shamanism. So we have culture, heritage, and Yeah, this next one. This is kind of our cultural heritage that's called Nang Yai. It's kind of wayang, but which is the very large scale of puppet, shadow puppet. Each show of Ramayana in annual years. Next. So basically, yeah, we named Baan Noorg. Yeah, we named our organization like where we locate, because in Nongpho district we have like 10 villages together, which is all the populations in the whole district is about 4,500 people. Yeah. So our village is the village number 2. We call their name is Baan Noorg, which means like the village is next to the highway. So another village in the south they call like Baan. So that all the village name has the name from the location where they are. And also in the other meanings in Thailand, when people call like Baan Noorg, it means like you are from somewhere not capital. You are like from outside, you are from like a rural area, you are not civilization. It's kind of discriminations from the people of the capital of Bangkok. And
there was so this is the divisions. We have the main divisions above and below, the off-lab or the day-off laboratory, and the NPKD or Nongpho Kid D. Kid is the meaning is children, and at the same time kid in Thai is ink, D is good, and then with several divisions. And we will explain about these major programs later. And the next one is the division's visual logos. So we are artist-run initiative. We use our artistic practice and output multidisciplinary art and cultural production. We work with children, community members. We invite outsiders, guests, specialists to input and exchange through residency. And the next one is showing besides the main studio. We also have an external space called Communal, the next one. This is a communal space that allows us to contact villagers easily and organize workshops, lecture, and activities. So I will introduce the NPKD. The NPKD focus on children and community members. At early period, we worked with children before we invited guests to join. NPKD considers children are the main core of our community. We organize workshops and activities that bring them to re-access and revisit the community and tell story about their community through short films. And then NPKD started from a project without any support funding. Children made animations and so on. And we also, the first project we screened at the temple as an activity for the people who escaped from severe flood in Bangkok and nearby province. And so the next one, these are the past posters by children, and then the next one. We also use similar model of workshops to conduct at other communities. And yeah, and then the next one. So we organize basic animation and storytelling workshop for them, and this is how we screen in the community, in the temple. Yeah, this was the process behind how we work with them. The next. Next, please. Yeah, so later we continue to put more emphasis on the local resource, which is cow's raw milk, because we are a dairy farm village, to build up our economic practice. So NPKD social enterprise was initiated in 2014. We add value to the raw milk, and then milk soap was the first products. The first recipe actually created by a couple artist designer who joined a project, and the recipe was later improved. And next, please. Yeah, these are how the children learn how to make, and then they demonstrate in the community market. So then children's short films have become a visual communication to support the products. For NPKD, here's the structure. The community lies in the middle, and jiandyin with Baan Noorg team, and in turn work with invited specialists through knowledge input program, such as the next one, the brand development and workshops with children. And for the community members also to develop the social enterprise product. And this is the complete product. So the children's short films helps promoting the campaign to serve community. The next one, please. These are the workshops that we did with children. The workshop to create the logo of the brand. The next one, please. Yeah, the short films that promote the campaign for the product. The next one. So the main program, the other one is the Day of Laboratory or OFF-Lab. It's a series of long-term projects based on post-studio, post-school program, and participatory practice. It's a dynamic platform to develop contemporary art and cultural production with emerging generations and professional realizing the project with local community. So we have organized as biennial project. And the next one, please. Tempo is one of the main center who support as projects advisor, space contributor, and also other support. And the next one, venues are local sites, community schools. The next one, theater, private factory. They are space that we use to activate the programs and exhibiting works. It was an education-based program. So the next one, and the next one, the previous OFF-Lab project, the pop-up museum model study for Nongpho community. This is the free self-screen t-shirt of We Are the Museum project by one of the students group that considered villages are significant living museum. The next one, this is the artistic certificates for the remain of the 4 grocery stores in the village, delivered by the Bangkok Art and Culture Center Director Kulakana. And then the next one, the Eid Museum and Museum of Photos, the next one. Also the other group, the other students group, squad. And the other of that project that we would like to introduce is the 365 days live muse model study for Nongpho communities foreign laborers. This is an artist in residence for artistic research and exhibition project. It's a collaborative and learning platform, including social, humanity-oriented artistic activities through artworks by 22 Thailand-based ASEAN and international artists and researchers. It's a collaboration with the community members and most importantly the Myanmar laborers who live in the community that we invited through open call. The project offers us a place for Myanmar couples who joined the project to live for a year. The next one, it was the first time they set in an environment with Thai neighbors outside their safe zone or the factory where they worked to integrate in Thai society. Throughout the period, they exchanged and learned with 22 different invited artists and researchers to create works together. So their role as project mapping, for us, they themselves also show a person's ability to act, not necessary to impose a particular definition of art on them, but rather experiment on their own with the artists or researchers. And they came to also install the work with us. And the next one is the archive room that showed the project's work in progress, and the exhibition. We end the project with a project evaluation program, a forum. The intention is to have public conversation and discuss about the community-based art, whether it is problematic or not, and we still work on the information. And the next one is the model of the commune lab room, where the Myanmar couple used to live for 1 year. As we grounded in the community, we and Baan Noorg not only is the instigators of the project, but we keep observing the impact on local participants. The next one, or it's like we follow up with their life changing. So this is part of the archive exhibition at the Trans-Southeast Asia Triennial Research that we collect. Actually, we recollect the archives with past participants that allow us to reread the project. And the next one is the Local Agents project in 2018 that aims to inspire, and the next one, that the Local Agents project that aims to inspire and encourage local productive force, create a possibility to liberate from capitalism. The next one. It was conducted in the village market to reach existed social relation. Our social enterprise was one of the stalls in the market too. And then there were multi-discipline knowledge platform addressed by the guest artists and makers. This is the social plastic project that artists collected plastic garbage by following local monks during the food offering routines every morning. The result was a 14-meter height of waste plastic stupa. You can see from the next one. Yeah. And then the next one is part of the local agents. We work with Jadiwangi and the Ocarina musical instrument making workshop made from local clay. A result was an orchestra that collaborated between local students, invited musicians. Because Ratchaburi is also one of the center of the clays and ceramic work. And other station in the local agent by Waftlaf from Surabaya, the DIY electric pieces, and craft beer made by the Thai Black Coffee station. So here we show the structure, how Baan Noorg carries different roles in the project. We not only sought funding, but sometimes we receive grants from invited projects and institutions. We administrate for sure and instigate, mediate artists. We help coordinating, discuss and share. We also handle the artistic and production for the project, to document, to promote, and also importantly, we responsible in problem solving and maintain the relationships. So during the COVID-19 situation, we received a grant and we organized long-term grant and artistic research and contemporary art exhibition project that grant young emerging artists. It was a platform for young art and cultural practitioners, an art skill developing program. The granted artists exchanged and received advice from the invited Taiwanese artists through an online knowledge and experience exchange program. We record, observed, and analyzed the communication process. The next one, so the residency program of Baan Noorg used to run by project. And then later, now we start to open call since 2018. So the next one is, as outsider who live outside the capital, we used to invited to curate projects to explore the capital city and central city in the northeast of Thailand. We are interested in human identity and sediment of the history and topography of place. So we worked with, for the Bangkok, for the Mirror City on the left side, we work with multi-discipline of specialists, such as historian, the next one. And the next one. such as the historian that analyzed the history through a painting by a historian, and also architectural 3D graphic designer that visualized a lost and demolished architecture. And the next one. This was one part of the history that we focused. The Makassar revolt in 1686 during the King Narai Ayutthaya period that the artist approached with into a one Thai baht cartoon book. And then this is the work that explored the identity of Northeast of Thailand by granted emerging artists. And so the next one, the internship is one of the important programs that the interns not only practice but also are team of every project. There was an intern project. During the COVID-19, he opened call for donations of necessary things and contributed the donate things to local people through an art exhibition. Yeah, there are like dry food and medical things, and so this one is interesting that it was the first collective exchange project that our emerging members had the opportunity to exchange and learn from the emerging collective from Indonesia. They really experienced the Indonesian state of being collective. It gave them useful practice before Documenta. So now we would like to also introduce the Documenta 15 project. These are major project's members and one invited artist. And this is the working structure in Documenta 15 between Baan Noorg and Documenta artistic team. So we also have our own artistic team, production and research. Then we collaborate with the local collaborators from both sides, Nongpho and Castle. And then there's a curatorial assistant who would assist in many parts, and the production coordinator from Documenta. It's not quite a complicated structure. And then, yeah, it's all linked together. So here, the next one, the strong background of Documenta history of Germany, Kassel, and the review to have this major art event. The next one. So for us, intertextuality is one of our methodology to assemblage all elements in our project. Yeah, you can see on the right hand, the previous image, please. Yeah. And the next one. The original mapping in response to the Lumpung concept. It consists of 4 main elements: the dairy agriculture, skateboarding culture, Nang Yai or shadow puppets with a recreate story from Ramayana epics and Cassel's Brothers Grimm's folktale. The next one. Yeah, so here's the main 4 elements in the project. And the next one, The Churning Milk, The Rituals of Things is the title. The result after a lot of discussions with Documenta artistic team from Rupa. For our case, Farid Rakun was the major person from Rupa. In Ramayana epics, Churning Ocean of the Milk is the chapter we focus in developing a story for Nang Yai. The chapter includes a major event of Churning Ocean, a collective and also an extreme activity between the gods and the demons. The central of the activity was the mountain Mantara and the Kurma turtle below, a symbol of the transfiguration of the god Vishnu. So, we have the next one. This is the sculpture, an inflatable object that we create as one element in relation to the chapter that we focus on. And the next one.
So we have like 3 elements in the projects that we approach to Inta 15. So the first element that we are looking at the Ramayana epic, which is the kind of different to the monarchy of Thailand. So in Thailand, the king is the incarnations of the god Vishnu. So which is the idea that we are thinking that okay, maybe we can play with the Ramayana in terms of like to transfer to another text. And also Ramayana is different into the kind of power of regimes of the government of Thailand. So Thai Prime Minister has been said in the parliament that he is Lama Deva, which is an Alia. So and he thought that the opposite sides of the MPs, they are the demon. So in the parliament at that day, he said that all the opposite side will be dead at the end, which is told by the Ramayana. So it is kind of very dangerous that the head of the country that has the ideas of kind of anti-Semitism to another people. Next. And the second thing that is very important for us because we come from the village of the dairy farm. So we try to connect and collaborate between Nongpho dairy farm and Castle dairy farm. And because of course the cows in both sides or in many places they are the Holstein fishes. So the Holstein fishes is the most productive milk, cow milk, and it was beat inseminations in the north of Hessen, the area of Hessen and Netherlands, some parts of Germany, and everywhere in our home we will find hostile features, and it's because it's the most productive of the milk. Next. And this is the farm that we work in our village. And next, we're going to Benatels in Castle, and we work with the local farm, dairy farm there too. Next. And the third one, this is the one that how we connect, integrate the Buttercream fairy tales with the Ramayana, and we adapt the text into the story, telling story, narrative, the story of what we try to say. Next one. And yeah, this is how Buttercreams designed to be able to,
open to audience to improvise. Next.
And this is
the skateboard ramp, the third element. The activity is an important part that we research and develop since we're in Thailand, and we also cooperate in parallel with the specialist in Kassel, who's our collaborator. So the project includes the skateboard DIY program with children through skateboard donation drive in Kassel, and then we'll ship to Nongpho later. The NPKB skate Harley, the next one, was launched for Documenta 15 before the opening of the exhibition in our village. The donated skateboards will be used in workshop for children in our community after Documenta.
And also we invited an artist for this project too. Morgan is Canadian who live a decade in Thailand, and he can speak Thai fluently. So we have to work with him first time in the project, Baan Noorg Biennale, Baan Noorg Biennale in 2018. Yeah, it's a local agent project. So next. So he made kind of a temple fair lightings, which is on our research. We found out that in our village, the monk in the temple, he has been invent the light kinetic for the funeral ceremony instead of putting a lot of flower in front of the coffin, in front of coffin. But he invents the kind of kinetic light in front of the coffin instead of flower. At that time, it's doing like at 70, yeah. And this is the idea that we try to connect all the context that we have in our village. Next.
Yeah, because the light is one of the important structure for the shadow play. So the result was a fluorescent motion light towers that related to, as G explained, the local temple's flares lights. So audience can improvise Nam Yai with the motion light towers. So the next one is the venue at the Documenta Halle. The next one. So part of the construction was made possible through a close collaboration with local Kasser's skateboard team of Mr. Wilson's Skate Halle and Documenta production team. The mini run was completed with collaborative spray paint by local castle street artists and Baan Noorg team. The next one, yeah. So, the next one, and the next one. The complete work include multimedia installation of 3-channel loop video, 13 minutes, sound on speakers, fluorescent light tubes on steel scaffolds, inflatable object, spray paint, skateboard mini ramp, Nam Yai, live performances by everyone, skateboard donation drive, cow skin shadow puppet carving workshop. You can see later how it organized in the same space, and series of events. The next one, we challenge the authority of space. We persuade the documenter through artistic team to allow castle skateboarders use skateboards or any wheel-based equipment to access the documenter hallway for free. And we made it so it makes the space an inclusive space for all. It is a space of activation. Yeah, so it's about churning. If you churn the milk, you achieve butter. So audiences are an important part of the churning force. Mr. Wilson's Gate Hale, the project collaborators are trainers of weekly workshop program at the mini-ramp, and there's so many different groups of people from local castle and everywhere came and experienced the space. So it is a multi-dimensional work that audience can experience from 3-channel video on monitors. The dialogue of the story showed on the upper monitor with the sound on the speakers. Nam Yai that lay vertically ready for audience to pick and improvise with the music and the whole space, along with the skaters in the mini ramps that provided skateboards for free, contributed by Mr. Wilson's Skate Hale. The cow skin workshop at the venue that everyone can join with the tools and skins that ready, and continuation of the collaborative paint of the mini ramp. We allow everyone to tag anywhere on the space. So the whole space was built, and this is the process behind coordination part, which is very important. We communicate directly with local collaborator to prevent misunderstanding, and sometimes it still occurs. We want to become long-term relationship with our collaborators. So to localize is important. We learn and practice before we share it. And this is the series of the events at the space with the planned forums and the spontaneous events that created with collaborators and Lungbung artists. There were training politics forum that explore about the politics behind the Ramayana, and training milk farm talk forum. The dairy farmers came to the venue and shared their development and difficulty concerning dairy agriculture to public. Sharing music every Saturday with local DJ and musician. And events with Lungbung artists. So most documenta 15 system is horizontal and and it's like a process that we work closely with everyone. This documentary really influenced our collective. It was a co-developed work among us to achieve one work, and we lived in Kassel together for a period. We solved a lot of problems and share a lot with other Limbung artists, and observed a lot of other Limbung programs. Yeah. So, and the next plan is to harvest all the knowledge that we gain, which is an important part also.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I think, can we just maintain this image here? Just keep it here. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very interesting to hear how the practices happening in the local context in Ratchaburi in Thailand, and then how you develop the projects within the community, but at the same time also how to translate to different situations in the global community. And with the Kassel project, it seems like, as you mentioned before, it's about translation and intertextuality, how you bring something from what is happening in Thailand and developing into the new context from the meeting point and encounter with the situation in Kassel. I think from the discussions yesterday also we hear many experiences and projects that related to the local community and how artists, researchers, they engage with the different problems and different contexts in their locality. So I would like to expand also the discussion from the story of Baan Noorg collaborative art in Thailand, and bringing to like some of the issues we discussed yesterday, for example the decentralizations, because I think it's important when you mention how being located outside Bangkok, where Bangkok is always being seen as the center of Bangkok and Chiang Mai, always being seen as the center of contemporary art development in Thailand, and how the places in the rural area that being affected directly by the fast development, the highway situations, and how can artists interfere and create like different idea of the space together with the community. So I think we can have some discussions also on the idea of decentralizations and the method of creating art projects that really much collaborative and interdisciplinary. I think that's also can be seen as the fundamental spirit of the Baan Noorg collaborative arts. So I think there are lots of similarities. I think when we hear your stories, I think if we compare to what happened in Jogja or in Indonesia in general, we have this kind of sharing experience on how artists always related to the local practices and reach out to the community, not only to create art projects, but it's just the idea of being part of the community itself and contribute to the articulation or the production of the knowledge together. That the identity and the knowledge is something that always being developed. So it never finished, the project that never finished. So yeah, I think I would like to invite the audience to give some comments or reflections. Maybe you have questions for jiandyin, and yeah, please. Maybe 2 questions first for the first sessions. Yeah, Mas Nindi. While we are waiting for another one, yeah, please, Mas Nindi.
Thank you. My name is Nindi.
wonderfully Baan Noorg collaborative art and culture.
Terlalu dekat ya, ke mic, agak kurang.
I'm sorry. That you have been introducing to us. In your early presentation, you were mentioning that that this community is open to members who have different orientations of religions, especially on that NPA program. I was wondering if you could share with us your special experience dealing with children who come from parents who have different orientations of the religions. I wonder how you deal with that in that program. Do you have a special story about that? Thank you.
We open for
One more question. Kalau masih ada, ya. Mas Kendal juga. Oh ya.
Okay, yeah, thank you. My name is Ilham, and thank you for your presentation and sharing all the project. And I think we in Indonesia we also have some kind of community, arts community or arts collectives that try to build a project that do interdisciplinary work and also work with a lot of community, local community. But my question is, I think the biggest problem I think is how you deal with the government or the formal authority, not in terms of censorship or things like that, but how you deal with manage the money funding. My question is because if this art collective works separately with public funding, the money that controlled by the government, it seems like in other way you also pay tax that should be backed as a good program for the community. But if the community work by themselves, try to search funding from like global funding, for example, so I think there's still a problem. My question is how you deal with this public funding? Are you trying to seek funding from the government and they support you, or and how your relation with the formal authority? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for.
Thank you, Mas Nidit and Ilham. I think additional question to Ilham's point is, how do you see, like if you work with government, do you think it's necessary this kind of program also interfere to the process of policy making, for example? Because somehow in Thai situation also, like with the very difficult government situations, how are these also bringing this critical issue in the policy making process? The first one is about the kids. How your experience working with
Kids yang sebenarnya nggak terlalu jelas.
Yeah, with the kids who come from the parents with different orientations of religions.
Okay, because you mentioned before that Ratchaburi is very diverse, so there are many different religions. So how do you discuss the multicultural and diversity issue with the children?
Thank you for your question. For the children, I can say like this, it not have a problem at all, because the mainstream education in Thailand that force everyone to be Thai. So even though they are different ethnic or they have their own language, when they go to school, they have to speak Thai. They have to be Thai, even though we don't have Thainess.
They have to be Buddhist as well.
Not really, but it's kind of, the religion is not the issue. But the issue is nowadays, most of the young people are questioning the or where we from. So in the old day, the education, the mainstream education that forced us to be Thai. We came from like Antai mountain, like from Mongol or Russia in the old day, and came down to Chapya basin, Chapya River, Chapya basin. So this kind of ideas of education that for everyone who has the mainstream education in Thailand, except the international school. So even the children in the village has different background of their own from their own parents. Maybe like Chinese, or they are Taiwan, or they are Mon, but many of them cannot speak their own language anymore. Even like actually it starts from my generation. So my mom never talked to me in Taiwan language because she worked for the government, and I realized many years after I grew up that she doesn't want me to get an accent because in Thailand you have I have to say like this, in Thailand the parents want to send their child to go away from home to get a better education. And at the end, many people end up in Bangkok and never return home. So this is a kind of idea that why I cannot speak my own language. Yet in my generation, it's the first time. It's the first generation who cannot speak. And when I went with my mom to their family, to their real family, and they talk in their language, and I feel like, oh, I miss that. Yeah, I cannot understand, or I cannot like, I can guess, but it's not really like understand the whole conversation. And yeah, since my generations until today, children in the village, they cannot speak their ancestral language anymore. Yeah, this kind of that is to the question that to the answer that why the children is not really know who they are. When they work together, they don't have the feeling like they are different ethnic or different religions or anything. Yeah, it is how government for us to be. Yeah, I hope this is the answer.
We work with governments the least. Mostly we were funded by foundations, so it's pretty open to organize and to run a project with a proposal that pretty close to the intention that we want to address. In terms of the politics, if it happened to be involved with the government, we do subtext. That's what we normally try to move it practically. So yeah, we actually the funding part is the thing that we are a lot behind many Indonesian collectives progress here that you receive a whole year funding, but we never fund received funding by projects, and we combine different fundings and support. Sometimes it's the funding from the invited artists from abroad, and sometimes funding for the air tickets, and sometimes funding from local government for a certain part, to run one project. So it's a kind of we don't actually receive a big funding for one project, or we combine by two institutions. But then we were lucky not lucky, but I mean it worked pretty well in some past projects that some institutions, for instance the Silverborn University Art Center, they are interested in this cross-cultural issue, so they support the 365 project. And Japan Foundation, they are interested in creating the also projects that collaborate between countries.
Thank you. Yesterday from
GB's lecture also we heard the term genealogy of gathering. So maybe you want to comment on how this collaborative and interdisciplinary but also intertextual practice, as we see from the presentation of Baan Noorg, somehow can illustrate your thinking or the right thinking on the genealogy of gathering in the practice of art making today. Do you want to comment? I saw more people wants to ask. Anjali, how do we deal with the time?
You can explain.
5 more minutes.
No, this very nice. I just pick up snap and send to some friend. It's an interesting framework that the last 15-20 years of contemporary art produced a certain meritocratic distance from life. So I think what is the practice and what Lumum managed and created a kind of an environment is return art to another context, another way of actually inhabiting the world. And this what I was telling yesterday, was trying to argue is that this would need a different genealogy, of different way in which we construct our way of histories, not necessarily from the art historical repertoire or art historical vantage points, but other histories of gathering. And like here, definitely different histories is being considered, both politics and also kind of different mythological, cosmological spaces are being considered. So that work probably now can start, because this has got foregrounded. This whole realm that Nongpho has brought into the world surface was there always for 15-20 years. In many ways people have been practicing. So this has become a kind of a presence, a clear presence, demarcation. But it will need its own way of thinking through it. It cannot be absorbed in the art historical discourse or monetized through a market discourse. It will have to find its own genealogy, lineages, different way of speaking. You can't say I can't speak. You can't afford that. That will be a suicide, because then it will be easily monetized into markets or said it happened. That was that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Two short questions and then short answer as well, I hope. Mas Kendal and Anton.
Mbak Darmas, saya mau bertanya, Mbak Darmas meletakkan Akar itu di mana? Sebagai akar atau sebagai jalan? As roots or road?
Atau?
Ya.
Hello, my name is Anton. For the past, I know about the meaning of Baan Noorg and how many you members. And for the second, I interest for to Nanyai, satu paket. On Nanyai tradition, the issue or story about I don't know, and your Nanyai, your project Nanyai about your tradition or about interpretation of the tradition, or you make some text, new text in the material, and share about both of you any or make some work for autonomous artists. Maybe I have 3 cases for ide. Thank you.
Tapi mungkin yang lebih ke shadow puppet dulu aja ya, karena mungkin menjawab 3 nanti terlalu lama. So I think it's all also connected on how Jiradej suggests all of us also rethinking the way we look into the phenomenon that always there, because always artists always somehow connected to the community for a long time, but the articulation of these practices in Documenta created a different lineage that we have to think in a different way, not in the canal of art history of particular disciplines, but yeah, maybe we need another perspective to articulate these practices. And then the second question is how you see what's so-called as culture in your position as artist. Is culture becoming the method, the roots, or it's the roots as roots in the plants, roots. So roots and roots. So how do you see culture in your artistic positions? And then the third question is about the shadow puppet. How do you create? How do you work and do the intervention to the creation of shadow puppet? Do you make one new narrative, or you still use the traditions, like traditional narrative in the story?
Okay, I answer the third one.
Yeah.
First.
He gives the homework.
For the third one, I can say like all the collectors. Of course, we propose the ideas of Ramayana in the chapter of the churning of the ocean of the milk. This is the one chapter of the Ramayana. All the character was designed what he knew and make all the new character, because we have Greek fairy tale story into the Ramayana. So we have to create the new piece, many pieces. Yeah, and also when we add some Ramayana Nangyai into the story, we not use the character that has been used in the show, in the temple, but we working with the carving of Nangyai at the temple, and we send him the copy, the designs of the motif, and then he carve for us. So both Ramayana and Baan Noorg fairy tales new create for this event. Yeah.
In terms of the cultural background of the project, of the context where we live, I think it's all, for us, it's like white zones. So I think it really depends which, at what's under certain issue, what do you want, how do you want to cook or to address with certain elements from the cultural background. So maybe it can be mixed and combined together, but sometimes we can also propose with one certain visual. So it's kind of depending. I don't know if I have answered the question.
Yeah, I think we can
Discuss more with them during the lunch break. Thank you very much. We give the last applause to Baan Noorg. I think the presentations also from all the projects they told us, and we saw from the pictures, somehow also bringing us to the next theme for the discussion today, because there are many issues also coming from different presentations that somehow connecting together. And I hope this kind of learning from different contexts and translation, and it is very important when you work in Castle. You not only bring something from Thailand, but also you interact and interpret the situations. And I think from these two encounters, then you create the new knowledge that will produce together by all the artists and the communities that involved in the project. Thank you very much, and we move to the next session. Thank you.
Lagunan sendu dan syair yang menawan mengalun di sana, menyayat hatiku. Dan nada yang sendu, puisi yang menawan terjalin bersama. Oh, nyanyian sunyi, tanah yang permai.